One. Okay, now we are recording. Hi,
Hi.
Hi.
everyone. Welcome to our podcast, the Waiguo Tales. Let's first introduce ourselves. Lina, you can find me on Instagram as Flores de Cerezo 1987.
I'm Venancia, and you can find me on Instagram like the long way. Yes, the long way.
My name is sorry. Sorry, Liwen.
I am Alwinar, and you can find me at West Indian Queen.
Great. My name is Camila, and you can find me at on Instagram at Cami on the road.
Very good. And the four of us, we are Waiguo Tales. Hi, everyone. And we're going to start our topic for today. That is the trending topic everywhere, our beloved quarantine.
Oh, why?
We love it so much.
It is not beloved.
Really? I don't love it.
Let me be sarcastic,
Uh,
please.
I know.
yeah, quarantine in China. This has
Yes.
been a crazy journey, as most of our viewers know by now. COVID-19 started here in China, in Wuhan, is a city not far from Nanjing, but also like not too close. And ever since January of 2020, regulations around COVID-19 in China have been like very, very strict. There have been constant testing. China has a policy of zero COVID tolerance. So whenever there's one case, the whole city goes into testing, and there are regulations that are applied to the whole city. Right now, Nanjing had, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Nanjing had about 50 cases, and the whole city went into lockdown. That is the case of Shanghai at the moment, with, I think yesterday they had 60,000 cases, and the whole city is completely shut down.
Cami,
Yes?
sorry. Shanghai is now is more than 700. 7,000.
So 70,000,
More
no?
than 7,000. Yes. I checked
Hmm.
yesterday night. More than 7,000.
How many
Yeah.
does Nanjing have?
I think Nanjing at the moment has 3,
Yeah.
10.
Yes.
According what I know, there are no new cases in Nanjing. The
Since
situation is pretty
yesterday, there
much
is no new.
safer.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the situation in Nanjing at the moment is safe. However, the regulations continue. You need to show your green QR code if requested. You need to do the testing as the city requests. For the past 2 weeks, we've been doing a COVID test every 2 days, and the regulation was to enter public places, transportation, you need to show the 48-hour COVID test. At the same time, there are places that are completely closed, for example, like cafes and other stores. They are closed to the public. You can order delivery, but you cannot go into the store to eat and drink there, for example. And the city is encouraging people to get their groceries online and be delivered to their own communities instead of going to the supermarket. So yeah.
Yeah. It's the life, the
Yeah,
quarantine
that
life.
it's not easy. It's it,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's very
It's
hard,
really hard.
especially with the thing that of the QR codes that we have to show everywhere.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this during the video according all the regulations. Oh,
You all basically said everything about the QR code already, if you all didn't realize that.
No,
yeah.
but we have a lot of QR codes. In this moment, we have three.
Yes.
So let's start with the oh, let's start to talk about all this crazy in quarantine in China.
Well,
Hmm?
like
Well,
the crisis is everywhere. You know that. Like since the regulations that are very strict, because different from other countries, that they are more lax. Here, everything is more strict. Here in Nanjing, for example, there are like a police security in every beginning of the neighborhood, or almost in every block. So every time you want to get into that particular part of the neighborhood, that ask you for the QR code that we have in one of the applications that we use to pay. And if you don't show it, they don't let you get in. So it's a big problem. Like if you want to come here in China, uh, don't leave your room without the power bank, because if something happens to your phone, you cannot go anywhere. You cannot, like, actually, you will have to stay there
Mm.
in that place because you cannot move anywhere. It's hard.
So let's start talk about the school regulations. Yeah, the school regulation in Nanjing or our school, our school is Nanjing Normal University. I think like since the first quarantine, the regulation the school normally are the same. The regulation is, please, dear student, don't go out of the campus during the quarantine. And when they
Mm-hmm.
say don't go out of the campus, you really can't go out. Because if you try, first of all, the garden doesn't allow you to go. Only if you have like something very important to do outside. You can ask permission of the teacher, and the teacher can allow you to go out because sometimes they don't allow. So we here in the school we have like I feel like if you want to go out, you need to say three things that you can
Yeah,
go out.
that's
First
true.
of all, teacher, I'm sick. I need to go to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
So the other one is like teacher. I don't have money. Even to buy food, I don't have any money. I need to go to the bank
Yeah.
to take the money and put on my Alipay bank account because the bank account that we use now, for me, for example, I can't use the bank of communication on my phone. So when I have money in that bank, I need to take the money and put on ICBC so I can use it on my phone. For this reason, I say, teacher, I need to go to the bank to take money because if I don't have money, I can't buy food and I'm gonna die. And the other hand is just, teacher, please. I don't feel well. Obushofu. I want to go to the pharmacy to buy medicine. But sometimes they say like, okay, you want to go to the pharmacy? Which medicine do you want? I can go and buy for you. But teacher, I need to go out to buy by myself. Why I need to ask? Yeah, so the regulation in this school is crazy. And uh, let me say something. Even when we go out with a permission, you can say like, okay, now I'm out. I can be there until the day after tomorrow, until tomorrow. Or forget this idea. Remember that on our dorm, every night at 9 p.m., the aunts that live here and work on this dorm, they come to knock our door. If they knock our door
Mm.
and you don't respond, they're gonna call you. Where are you? Why you are not on the dorm? Why you are outside? You know you can't go out. Blah blah blah. Everything like that is crazy and insane. But we don't have another choice. Only if we decide to go, move, and live out. But for now, is it possible go out?
Well,
So this is more or less the regulation in the school, according during the pandemic or during the quarantine.
well, it's
Okay.
important to highlight that that happens in, like, in the dorm situation. It happens where Venancia and I, and where Camila used to live. Where Liwen lives, there is no IE. So if in normal situations she would have been able to go and get out as
Yeah.
she pleases.
We have an eye, but she leaves at 4 p.m. So she
Oh,
comes, she
okay.
cleans around the compound. If she needs to like tell us something, she will tell it to us. And then at 4 p.m., she make it clear, like, I have to go home. She goes home
I'm
at 4.
jealous.
But it's not for supervision, right? Because in the dorm three where we were, like,
No,
uh, oh,
she like if she gets like some announcement or sometimes she brings like our water and light bill to us. She would just like knock, put it on the door, or if sometimes we don't have water, she would like tell us she would bring water to us or tell us where to go to take a bath. Or if we have to do a COVID test, she would come and tell us, okay, we have to do this tomorrow, and that's it. But she would come before 4 p.m.
Okay.
because
Well,
she makes it clear at 4 p.m. I have to go home.
well, that's better than going to our rooms at 9 p.m. every day. Like they're gonna throw it out. Hey, Shaha,
Hey,
Ichio.
Isha! I
Yeah, it's
well,
crazy.
this is really
So
to prove that the regulations between like inside of one university between dorm and like another dorm are different. And like regulations also change between university and university. But I will say that like there are certain things that remain the same. Is
Hmm.
that right now students are not allowed to leave campuses
Yeah, that's the only thing.
unless they have a specific permission from their supervisors.
Yeah, that's
Especially
true.
yeah,
now that like that Nanjing is under this latest new quarantine.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true. That's true. And somehow, like all these quarantines has affected us in a lot of ways. It has been like emotionally very emotionally hard for us to keep ourselves sane during all this time.
yes, it is. Especially being alone in China. You have no family members. You have like literally nobody, and you locked up 24/7. All you have is like yourself and the online classes and the teachers. Like every day we will get homework. Like we literally do not even get a break. And yeah, you will go nuts. You will go nuts. The few friends you have, you try to depend on one another, but like we all going nuts together. So we help as much as possible to like get everybody off their feet. Like go and take a walk. Maybe like right now we cannot go outside, but before we would like maybe get coffee at our coffee shop where we used to be. Like just go out and have like dinner or something. Right now we have nothing because we're locked in and we're alone. So you will get depressed. You will feel like your life is over. You will feel like you just like, I don't know, on a float on the sea, on Titanic when Rose was just floating. This is how you feel. But it will be okay. It will be okay. And mind you, we have been locked in for like COVID basically started what, like in 2020? Like, right,
2020, yeah.
right? So
2020.
we only had one semester, which is like the 2019 from September to December. Only that semester we had like face to face, one semester. And from 2020, we have been online and locked in. And we are in 2022. So it's not easy. It's not. We've been losing it, but we're okay. We're okay.
look like for this reason, I always say like I miss home. I really miss home, and sometimes I just say I want to go back home. Like 3 or 5 times by week when I'm talking with my boyfriend, I just say, please come to take me out. I want to go back home because I never stay so far from my home until I come to China. I'm far from my home. I leave my family, I leave my friends, I leave my boyfriend, and it's hard because I feel like I born to be free. And in China, before come to China, I was think like I will be free. I will be like able to do whatever I want, and also enjoy China, enjoy with the people. And when I arrived to China, I had this on the first 4 or 5 months, as Luen said. After that, no. For this reason, missing home, is more or increase day by day because the quarantine. I just say, if I was on my house now or in my country, I had a friend. We can go wherever we want. We can do whatever we want. I am with my family. I'm with my friends. But here, I know I have you. But even to see you, my guys, it's not easy on this time, on the quarantine time. Only Lina, that is my neighbor, but
That's true.
no, it's not easy. So
It's true. It's very hard. I agree with you.
yeah,
And like it's not only like the feeling of missing home. And I agree with Liwen when she said that she feels alone. And I will add it is because for us nowadays it's harder to like our social skills are rusted. Because I remember that at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, we were advised to stay in our rooms, like not even to get out, even to walk. It wasn't allowed. They told us to go back. So we didn't have any more choice to stay in our rooms. And some of us alone, some of us with the roommate, right? And
you have a roommate.
I used to be with my roommate, but for example,
Yeah.
sometimes my roommate was in her business, I was in my business. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we didn't, and sometimes you didn't even talk with the other people in other rooms. Like because everybody was the same, everybody was in their rooms, in their thing. So I think at some point we all keep that kind of lonely feeling inside. Like we want to talk with someone, but at the same time we think it's too exhausted because we are like get used to the loneliness.
Yeah.
So it's make it harder and harder to talk to people because we are used to be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
think
it going to impact us when we go back home because
Oh
since that we
yes.
have been in China for 5 years and we're like basically
5 years.
alone.
Yeah.
So when we go home, it's kind of going to be difficult to interact with people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree the same. I will find it so exhausting. That is gonna be very hard.
I think that for me the hardest, like one of the hardest things, like um knowing that even though there are other people in the campus going like through the same situation that I was going through at the time, like, and this is something that started in 2020, I felt very isolated. And like you feel isolated from other people because they don't share your same culture, they don't share your same language. You are struggling to find your way and your place in this country, in a country that you just got to. And then suddenly the the place that you had found yourself in for the like the first those first 5 6 months is like taken from you again, and then you're locked in. You need to meet again people to try to hang out with, but maybe you're not familiar with the people that are left, and that's what happened to
Mhm.
me. I felt very very isolated, uh, and it's something that definitely had an impact over my mental health. um, I try to keep healthy, like body and mind, but it's very hard to stay focused and motivated. Like for me, it was very hard to stay focused and motivated at first because I felt I didn't feel alone. I felt lonely. I felt inadequate. I felt like, whoa, I'm an alien in my own body. It was kind of hard. Um, and it's something that, yeah, China really uh, makes you change and reflect on like who you are, what you're used to, how do you make friends, how do you see your academic life, your professional life. And it got to a point where last year I decided to start going to therapy because I realized that I needed help. I needed help overcoming these issues that were keeping me down. And I think that like this is a point where a lot of people get to, like in China, is either your mental health debilitates as much that you decide to just go to your safe place, go back to your comfort zone at home, or you stay here and you power through and you know, you
Yeah,
it's a phoenix. You burn down and then you regrow, like
yeah.
you are reborn.
Seeing,
Yeah,
seeing that, like you said, like about your mental health, it's also like it took me. The mental health is like it. I have like never experienced like mental breakdown or like any of this stuff like in my entire life. And then I came here not because like China caused it, but the pandemic caused like
That's it.
yeah,
That's
it like
exactly it.
just threw me off. And I was like, it have been like the darkest time in my entire life. But I would like just sit there and try to make it like take over my life because like as you said, like you're going through therapy. And for me, it is kind of like difficult to get a therapist that speak English here or like
mm,
online because of like the payment method and all of this kind of going to be too stressful for me. So I try to like stay positive, take a good cry, and take some good sleep and do some meditation, try speaking to like my friends, especially like friends that go through like the same stuff so they understand, and try to be strong. You have to be strong because if you're not strong,
Yeah,
you won't make it. Only the strong survive here. So like yeah, you have to be like really strong. So yeah, it's coming.
Ima-
Yeah.
imagine like for me, one of the things that make me afraid during the quarantine time since the pandemic start is like to end up in getting depression. Why I'm so afraid? Because I remember like 6 or 7 years ago, I already had depression. And when you experiment depression in your life, and one of your fear, the most fear, is to get again depression. So
mhm.
for this reason, this fear create me like anxiety. So and the anxiety also allow me to get the insomnia. I couldn't sleep. Principally on the first quarantine, I really couldn't sleep during the night. And in the morning, when I tried sleep, after 3 or 4 hours, I must get up because I couldn't. So this this situation make me like my mental health really crazy, and I really can't do anything whenever I want because I just say, oh my God, I don't want to go back on my depression. I don't have people here to help me. Oh. Hey guys, can you?
Venancia?
Venancia, the image stopped.
Sorry. Our internet is very bad.
Yeah, the internet is very
God,
bad
the
these
internet in the
days.
dorm. Well, I just want to say that in China there's like
No,
very, very, very good internet, but ever since this quarantine started, because everyone's taking online classes and
ladies.
online like work, I'm just like
Yeah,
Venancia.
everything is just a mess with the internet nowadays. Everybody's online. Even people are working at home, so the internet is a mess. Our apologies. I also, well, Venancia comes back. And what Liwen said, that reminds me that here in China, or you become stronger, or at some point, like you, uh, or the breakdown make you stronger, or sometimes the breakdown makes you go back home. Uh, we have had like a lot of cases here that unfortunately, because of their mental health, they had to go back because they felt that they couldn't take it anymore.
Hmm.
Oh,
Lina, do you think that is because, like, because of the experience of living in China, or because of the experience of quarantine in
No,
particular?
I think it's because of the quarantine in particular. It's not
Exactly.
because of China, but the
oh,
quarantine situations make them hard for them. So they couldn't take it anymore and they had to go back home. As what we were saying at the beginning, especially in the first pandemic, we were all completely alone, isolated. So I think that most people were able to handle it better than others. And unfortunately, we had a lot of students who couldn't handle it, so they had to go back.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember the girl here that tried to kill herself because the depression.
During the first quarantine. Yeah,
During the
that
Yeah, the
was
first
first
terrible.
quarantine, yeah,
quarantine.
I remember.
Really, when I hear people talking about this, I get crazy and I say, oh my God, why? Because I know how the people feel when you get depression. Sometimes when you get depression, you just want to be alone, cry every day, don't do anything, and even if you want to do, you can't.
Yeah, there was like
Do
very
you even
isolated
it?
times. I think that by now, if even if this one is like which lockdown is this one? The third one? The fourth one?
The fourth one.
The
No,
fourth one?
please.
The fourth one
The
already.
the fourth one, I
Now,
think that we have learned to manage it a little bit more.
do you think? I think that's something that is like super funny here in I think all over the world in pandemic situation, but specifically like here in China with international students, is that people took up the craziest, most random hobbies to spend their like quarantine time. Like because you're
Hmm.
always inside of the university, you can't really go out. Exploring the city is not an option for us anymore at the moment, you know. So a lot of people just decided to take whatever hobby they go and get their hands on.
Yeah. For me, I did not develop any particular hobby because like I like stayed inside. So I started like on my health. For example, like I started to dieting, so I cut off sugar from my diet, and I don't drink sodas anymore. I try eating like healthier, and the other stuff is like self. I started working on myself, my self love, my peace of mind. Just finding peace, inner peace. Working on this stuff during the pandemic. During the pandemic, you think a lot about like your life and you try to get it back. Try to be better when you come out from this pandemic. I also found like I also like interested in like journaling, so I started doing like bullet journaling and stuff like that. Yeah, but for hobbies, I haven't found any. Yeah.
Look at me like during the pandemic and during the quarantine. Normally, I spend my time to watch a movie like drama and suspense. I love now drama and suspense movie just to see. And the Christmas novels. Normally on
Soap
the
operas.
pandemic, I just soap operas. Even yeah, I just turn my bed with my computer or my phone and try to watch whatever I want. If it's movie, need to be drama and suspense. Yeah, because I really love. And look at me like the thing that happened. I think it was on the first or the second, on the first, no, the second or third quarantine. I remember like I was read one book, and that book had like more than 8,000 page, and I read this book on only 1 month.
Was
Wow.
that Journey to the
Imagine.
West?
Wow.
Please,
Wow.
internet.
Mm.
Oh my God.
8,000 pages. Wow. That's a lot.
In 1 month? Like, what kind of book was
It
that?
taken me 1 month to read a 100 and something
The book,
pages.
the book, the book was like take my breath away.
Mm.
Oh,
It's a
Sounds
romance.
romance.
I
I
romantic.
have no idea.
I haven't. I don't know. Is it romance? I think
Yeah,
it's
Appa-
romance.
It is
it's a
romance.
romance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
it's a
title
romance.
tells you
But it's
so.
kind of book like when you are reading, you feel inside of the book.
Okay, those are the books to read. Maybe you should take a picture of it and we can post it so we can promote it. If anyone is bored and needs something to read, so you can read
I
Venancia's
have the book,
recommendation.
but the book is in Portuguese.
Ah,
The book is
that's
in
Ah,
good.
yeah. The Portuguese the Portuguese version is like tira meu fôlego. Ai, yeah.
no, I remember like with this quarantine, I have developed like several things. One, and my favorite, badminton. In our countries, badminton is not popular. For the people who listen to us, badminton is like tennis, but the rackets are smaller and the ball is different. And here, people don't play soccer, they play badminton. And you can see like people everywhere in every corner playing badminton. So my roommate used to play
I learning
badminton.
play with Lina.
Yeah, I have forced her nowadays to play with me. In the first
Yeah.
pandemic, in the first pandemic was my roommate to teach me because I said like, what should we do? I said, I will teach you how to play badminton. So she taught me and two other friends. So in the first pandemic, we used to play like 4 or 5 hours a day
Wow.
because we didn't have anything to do. So we just relieve our stress playing badminton. Like 4 or 5 hours or until the shushu said, what are you doing here? Go back to the dorm.
That was a lot of badminton.
So we
Four
played
hours of badminton?
4 hours of badminton. We played a lot of badminton. Or if we weren't playing badminton, I used to watch or the dramas like crimes and murder dramas. Or if I was tired of them, the cheesy ones. Uh, Chinese dramas has a lot of cheesy dramas, so I watch a lot of cheesy Chinese dramas to relieve myself from the stress of the quarantine. That's what I did, or that's what I do also.
I don't know how you guys all find time to like watch TV series. Like that is something that I don't know why I never feel like I've got time. I don't know. I start series and I've tried to start so many Chinese series and I get
I
to like the first two episodes and then like or I sit in the third one and I it's not that I don't like them. I like them, but it's I
yeah,
just
this
stay
stuff is you like them, but you're not that kind of person. You're
there.
not this serious
Yeah, yeah,
person.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
if
for
I
me,
started, I think
I
Liwen is
watch it.
like me too.
Yeah, I watch an entire. If I can watch 2 seasons in one day, I watching 2 seasons in one day.
Liwen, Liwen, we can see like it is the difference. Like you, when you watch your series, I can do it to read my books. It is the difference. The same that you do to watch the series, I do to read the books.
Yeah,
You see,
I think
same feeling.
Cami own is also maybe like in an other part. I don't know what part. Maybe like what riding bicycle.
Well,
Oh,
Uh,
go. Yes.
yeah.
But
During
in this pandemic,
quarantine,
we
I
cannot
just
ride
tried.
bicycles.
I don't know, but like during quarantine, I just started like I did so many things. I've been doing like in these 2 years. I
Oh my god.
no, nothing like I don't do like anything for a really long period of time. Like there's nothing that has stayed with me for these 2 years. But like all the hobbies that I've taken very seriously. At some like I started cooking. At some point, I decided to do embroidery, and I was doing some Chinese embroidery, and then I decided to make my own
Painting.
clothes, and I make a pair of pants, and I even got like this tiny sewing machine that is there, by the way, and like I got all the materials, and then I got busy with the semester, and when I like next thing I noticed, I had another hobby. Then like I got to puzzling. I take a like I did photography. I was drawing for a while. Yeah, this
Pottery.
2 years. Oh, pottery. That's true. That's I'm forgetting about pottery.
Biking.
I did biking. I love biking. I really discovered that I love biking here in China.
And
It's
what's your
crazy.
new
When I go
hobby
to
right
China,
now?
uh,
What's your new hobby right now?
right now, it must be cooking. Like I've been like,
What
like this
about
Instagram like
vlogging?
food stuff, blogging. Yes, that's true.
She has a lot.
So yeah, it's like these are all things that I took on like quarantine. And to be fair, I don't know if it's because like I'm in China now, I have like more time to do these things, or because I'm in quarantine and have more time to do these things. It's like it's a
I
complicated
think
feeling.
it's because you're in quarantine.
Oh,
And like I also think like with all of our enjoyments that we have during the quarantine also like we have like setbacks because like before we left our home and came here to
Mhm.
study, we all had plans. My plan was traveling.
Ah,
You can't come
yes.
to China and not travel. I mean, like, what is the point? So yeah, I wanted to like literally go to like a lot of places, but I have been to quite some, like about 4 or 5, all the Jews you can imagine, Suzhou, Hangzhou. Well, I did like 1 year in Beijing, and I think we went to like Huzhou or Samzhou. Like it has a lot of Jews, so yeah. And I did those like in a short period of time. So like 1 week we went to like 2, 3 places, like hopping from one train to the next, and that was the only time we get. Right now, I would love to see like in a lot more places. And I think like I have a feeling like my time in China is coming to an end. It's coming to an end, guys. And I am so like worried. I thinking of like if it's to stay an extra year just to travel because I want to go to like Sanya and like a lot of the other places. So like the quarantine just like yeah, it have been a setback on my traveling plans.
Yeah, I agree. It has ruined all of our trips, not only inside China, but around Asia. Because, for
around
example,
Asia.
from our countries, like come to Asia is very expensive. So I say, okay, now that we are in China for 4 years, 5 years, this is the opportunity to also go outside, go to other places in Asia and travel. But we can't. What happened to the people who left escaping from the first pandemic is that they couldn't come back, and we can also go anywhere. And also China has so many beautiful places that we would like to go and see, a lot of tasty food, because as you know, China has a lot of variety of food, and the food changes according to the province you are. So China also has so many delicacies that they are worth to try, but also the quarantine has forbidden us to do so. I would love to do that. I would love to go and travel,
Yeah,
but
I
at
can't
this moment
wait.
we can't.
I don't know.
No, we
For me,
can't.
like one of the biggest issues that I've faced like here and like now that the quarantine obviously is like forcing us to take on is online classes. I I don't do well with online classes. It's so hard. So hard to stay at home and then in the same place that you're sleeping and eating, and then you also have to like uh find a place, a mental space to take online classes. And it's different. Like the feeling is different when you have to go to the classroom from like 8 to 12 and then 1 to 5. Then when you're like sitting in front of your computer and then you need to do homework. Like for me, it has been uh really hard. That aspect of quarantine like has been quite taxing. And I don't see it ending anytime soon. I don't think that like we're going to stop having online classes even for the rest of the major. I think that we're going to finish the major and we're still going to be in online
Yeah.
classes. And I I've been talking to people that are applying like for the Chinese government scholarship like last year and this year, people from back home. And they asked me like, well, like things must be different, like because we're taking online classes back home. They tell me we're taking online classes, and I'm like, well, it's the same. Here's also the same. Yes, I'm living in China, but like online classes are now a worldwide phenomena. So yeah, I think that I will have to get used to that.
Yeah.
For me, the hardest I think is like not be able to go back home. It is was
Mm.
the hardest thing here because before come to China, I planned it like I'm go to China on the second, no, the first summer holiday. I'm gonna go back home and see my friends, see my family. But unfortunately, on the first holiday, the pandemic started and also the quarantine started. So when we finished the first quarantine and was the first holiday, China closed abroad. Nobody can come again. So I think I can go, but if I go, I can come back to China.
Mm.
How I'm gonna do with my school, my major, and it's not easy for people that they go back home or they went back home and get the online class. So this feeling like I can't go back home. I need to stay in China during 4 years and changed all my plans, changed all my view about my life in China. So this is the hardest thing in China for me because it's good to be in China, but it's good also sometimes go home, see your people. But on this moment we can't do it. So it's the hardest thing in China for me.
And
Don't allow me to go back home.
even though we could, before I left home, I put in my head, you can't return to Dominica until you are done.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am not about to be flying 32 hours back and forth. And let me tell you, the ticket, no, I am not doing it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
am happy that you are fortunate to even like return home. And I am sorry that you like right now you can't go back home. But
Yeah, I saw. I think like for us, the good choice was to continue in China on the first
Yeah, that's
quarantine.
true.
We did the,
Yes.
even like it was hard because on that time the situation was very bad and we were afraid about the situation. But I think it was the best
The
The
choice
right
right
that we
choice.
did.
choice.
Yeah. Now
Yes,
Yeah, the right
you
definitely.
choice.
you remind me that when that happens, everybody in the in this storm was in panic. Like
Yeah,
everybody was panicking. They and we start to panic even more. Like when the Indonesians went all home. Because all the uh community from Indonesia, there were a lot of students, so they all went home more or less at the same time. No, they all went home at the same time. So they went home, the Pakistanis went home, the Europeans went home, everybody went home. And I was also panicking, like, should I go home too? Should I go home and just come back? And when I check like the flights, and I say, my goodness, if I go back to Colombia right now, it's more or less like 20,000 yuan. I won't have any money
the
to
ticket
come
was
back. I will
expensive.
just stay here.
I think that despite everything, And despite quarantine here in China being so hard and like so taxing, I'm very grateful for having stayed. And I'm also grateful for the effort that I see some people making, like to make our lives a little easier. Um, we have had some teachers that have tried to understand how we're feeling, that have like, you know, tried to ease the regulations. And I think despite everything, like China is really, as like the government is really trying to handle the situation as best as they can. I really hope that us international students are able to
Come back soon.
travel like uh outside of China and then back in somewhat soon. But yeah, I'm happy to have stayed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, not also because
Now I'm happy.
we are grateful, but because the people that we have known along the way
Yeah.
and the person I have become through this. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. So, and I think that we have been stronger uh, with all of these
Look,
things.
look at me. I improved my English because I stay in China.
Yes. I
The
wish we
people
could
that
improve with
know
time
me,
our Chinese
my
too.
English was very bad. Now you can listen me and understand a bit when I say something.
We understand you
We
clearly.
understand you clearly.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I think that this is
yeah,
all for today. Like we have been talking about a very serious topic.
Uh-huh. And we
Uh,
were serious also.
and it was very serious topic too, and we were very serious too because this is what uh this kind of topic matters it. So this is was all for today, guys. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and
don't
please
forget to
don't
like,
forget the comments, don't forget to like,
subscribe, and
subscribe,
share.
share, and give us comments, ideas of what you guys want to hear, what topics do you want to hear from us. So this was the Waiguo Tales. So see you in
episode
another
4.
opportunity. Bye bye.
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 Bye.